everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Eileen and this is Red Hot and Flashy. So today, I promised you last week that we were going to discuss crazy neighbors. Now you know damn well we all have one. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification button, that little bell there, so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you would please give us a thumbs up if you like us and make any comments, because I really love to look at them and read them and respond to them as well. I just got done filming a makeup look. The eyeliner was a fail, so I don't want you coming at me telling me my eyes look horrible. Back to crazy neighbors. We all have one. Some of us have more than one. I'm going to tell you about mine. Now, I'm not doing this to bash anybody. I'm not going to give you any names. I'm not even going to tell you where she lives on the block, or that might slip out, but I don't mean it viciously. And just so you know, I am not at all mean to her. I do feel bad for her. So with that being said, we're still going to talk about her. My boyfriend and I bought a house together about 3 years ago, and it's him and I and my 3 children. My 3 children are grown. So when we first moved in 3 years ago, it was me and my daughter. We were just here, not really doing anything, just checking out the house. And because we were excited, we couldn't wait till the closing. So I just, we were just driving by like, oh my God, that's gonna be ours. And I pulled over just to, I was pointing at something, I think at the tree in the back or something, because I'm like, we got to take that down or trim it or something. And she came walking up to the car and said, "Oh, are you the new neighbor?" And I said, "Oh, yes." So apparently the man that sold us the house, he sent out a letter to all the neighbors to tell them that we were moving in, which I think was nice, to let them know they were going to have new neighbors. Anyway, so I said, yes, my name's Eileen. This is my daughter, Ashley. It's nice to meet you. And she introduced herself. And then she began to gossip about every single solitary neighbor on the block. And I said, oh my God, no. I knew right then and there, this woman was going to be a problem. We move in the year my son was graduating high school, and my youngest still had a year to go. So they have friends who come to the house. They come over, And I guess she thought that I had 25 kids. Because my son, who is introverted, I guess you want to call him, he's a little shy. He was getting in his car to go to work, and she came walking up to him and she's like, "Excuse me, just how many of you are there?" And that was the wrong person to talk to, because he just looked at her like, "Ew, why are you talking to me?" And he got in his car and left. He didn't even respond to her. But I guess she thought all the kids, my children's friends were also my kids. They don't look alike, so I don't know how they thought that they were all my kids, but she thought they were all my kids, but whatever. So as time went by, we talked, if I were outside, she would always come running over. If I was in the house, she would ring my doorbell and I would answer it because, what the heck. And so I came to discover she was just lonely. But I'm not like that. I don't like when people are alone. But unfortunately, when you're nice to her or friendlier to her, she takes that as an invitation to just come over when she wants. Constantly, she would ring my bell 2-3 times a day, and it was just getting out of hand. So fast forward even further. Not this summer, the summer before, we redid our backyard. We put in some sod, we got some patio furniture, like the nice couches, the fire pit, that kind of stuff. Of course, she saw the work being done, and she had come up to me and she was saying, "Oh, you're doing your yard," or whatever. And I was like, "Yeah." And she said, "Yeah, I like to watch. I like to stand out. I don't get any sleep. I'm up all night watching." And I said, "What are you watching?" "TV." And she's like, oh no, I just watched the neighborhood, you know. I said, oh, you want to make sure we're all safe? You know, deep down inside, I'm like, yeah, gossip. You want to know what's going on. You're minding everybody else's business, aren't you? But I didn't say that. So I was just like, yeah, we're doing our yard. We're redoing our yard. So she was like, oh, that's nice or whatever. And to be honest with you, I don't remember the rest of the conversation. Whatever happened, the conversation ends, right? So the yard's done. It's probably done for about a month. I have company over. Friends, their children, their grandchildren. She comes walking in my backyard, opening the gate. You know, it's not like we have a privacy fence. She comes walking in the yard. Everybody stopped in their tracks and looked like, who is this woman? And I was speechless. I was like, can I help you? She's like, oh, is this what it looks like back here now? I said, excuse me? And I didn't want to get nasty with her because there were children there. So I was just speechless. And she was like, who are all you people? I don't know you. I said to her, they are my friends. And I think you got to go. And she's like, yeah, I think I got to go now. And she left. I think it took me a week before I finally ran into her again. And I said to her, nicely, but, you know, kind of stern, I said, it is absolutely unacceptable for you to walk into my backyard, ever. And she said, well, I had to tell you something. I said, no, you didn't. You didn't tell me anything but, oh, is this what it looks like? You wanted to know what it looked like. You were being nosy. And you have absolutely no right to walk into my yard, ever. She's like, well, I said, no, well, never again. You're not allowed to. I'm telling you now, you do not have my permission to come in my yard. Do you understand that? And she said, yeah, well, okay, I won't do it. All right. So, you know, a whole year goes by with the niceties and whatever, and her fighting with her neighbor next to her, calling the police on the landscaper. Like, she's really, you know, it's sad to me because I think she does those things because she's really lonely, to be honest with you. But the things that she's doing, she's not making friends because unfortunately nobody wants to be around that. This summer comes. Ready for this one? I was so mad. So we had a storm and the power went out. No big deal, it happens, you know. And she comes knocking on the door. Oh, let me just say something. I did not answer the door. She would come to my door several times a week. First she'd ring the doorbell, then she'd knock. I would not answer it. And I would not let anybody else answer it. Because the more I answered the door for her, the more she came over. So I said, from now on, nobody's to answer the door when she rings the bell. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So now the power goes out. She comes over. I hear her knocking on the door. She didn't ring the doorbell. I guess she figured there was no power. I hear her knocking on the door. Well, I didn't realize it was her at first. So I was in the kitchen. So I walk over to the living room. I see it was her. I said, oh no. And then my daughter Ashley was with me in the kitchen. I said, oh no. And I walked back. And unfortunately, we have a nickname for her. And I didn't even give her the nickname. Another neighbor did. We call her the cuckoo bird because she does kooky things. Anyway, so I said, oh God, it's the cuckoo bird. And you know, we started doing whatever we were doing in the kitchen, probably starting to get dinner ready. And we heard the door click. You know, when you're going to open the door, we have the handle that has the lever. We heard the click. And I said, oh my God, she did not just try to open our door. So I go running over into the living room because now I'm mad. And I see her leaving my porch, but instead of going back towards her house, she goes around, you know, past my garage as if she's going in the backyard. And I said, oh no, she is not going in my yard again. So my daughter goes, there's a door right off my kitchen, but you have to go down the stairs and the back door is right there. So she goes down the stairs and the cuckoo bird comes in the backyard, walks past our door to where like the patio is and all the, the fire pit and the grill and all that stuff. So literally walks past the door. And my daughter grabbed the door as hard as she could and just like ripped it open so it would make a lot of noise. So the cuckoo bird heard that. She came running back and she knocked on the aluminum siding. It was too late. The door was already open. Anyway, my daughter said to her, "What are you doing? Why are you in my yard?" So she's like, I wanted to know if you had power. And she's like, "Why are you in my yard?" And she's like, well, you didn't answer the door. She's like, "Well, that still gives you no right to be in our yard." And then she continued to argue with my daughter. So I got so angry. I know I shouldn't have, but I lost it. So from the top of those stairs, there's only about 4, from the kitchen, I start yelling at her, "Get the F out of my yard now." She's like, "But I have no power and I came." I said, "I don't care. I've told you before, we've had this conversation, you are not allowed to go in my yard. You have absolutely no right. You are trespassing. I've asked you not to do it. And you think it's okay because you want to know if I have the power out?" I said, "But the bottom line is, you didn't come in my backyard to knock on the door. We watched you. You walked past the door because you figured we weren't home. So you were going to look around our yard? Like, what kind of person are you that you do stuff like that? Get out of my yard now." And then she continued to argue with me. I was so angry that I did start cursing at her. I couldn't help myself. I lost my temper. I don't like to treat people that way. But get the hell out of my yard. So when she was still continuing to argue with me, I was just so angry. I just kept going, bye, 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 bye. Every time she opened her mouth. And I must have said it like 20 times. So she kept trying to argue with me. And then finally she takes a really deep breath. Oh, I forgot. She was rolling her eyes at me like, "You're in my backyard." So finally, after arguing with her, probably for a minute, 2 minutes, I mean, it wasn't that long, maybe 3 minutes, something like that, she finally said, "Well, I guess I'll go then." I was like, "Bye." And that was only a few months ago. So I haven't heard from her. And I feel bad for her. I really do. But sorry. You have to be nicer to your neighbors. I mean, I would look out for her. If something happened to her, of course, I would help her. But I just try and steer clear from her. Now, the rest of our neighbors are great. They really are. We have a bunch of good neighbors. I hope you enjoyed our little chit chat. I would really love to hear about your crazy neighbors. Leave me some comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video. Until next time, bye.